What is up, everybody? I am back with some online golf. Today I find myself in a fairly decent lobby. There's an S4, S1, and S0 player, 3 A players, one random E player in here as well. 0 wind on hole 16, definitely going for the shortcut.
Nice shot.
Accidentally curved that shot. But luckily we still make it through. I'm wondering if that E player is just playing on the same switch as someone else in this lobby. I don't see how they would make it in this lobby otherwise. But that doesn't really matter. I'm going to be trying to win regardless of where the players are at, what ranks they are. Came pretty close to the chip and eagle there, but I'm going to be settling for birdie on hole 16.
Nice birdie.
So, a few birdies there. Not too surprising considering there's 0 wind. We are going to be tied for first on 10 points going into the second hole of this match, which is hole 18 with what looks like not too crazy wind. And it is only 9 miles an hour. So we will definitely go this way.
Nice shot.
And for stroke number 2, adjusting a little bit for the wind. Probably going to go a little bit under 3.5 dots in terms of power. Should be able to roll up nicely to the hole.
Nice shot.
It was actually too much power
Nice on.
and terrible wind adjustment there. Wind carried me a lot more than I adjusted for. Ooh, and a very unlucky putt there. Didn't quite get the green right, so that caused me to roll around the hole and back out.
Bruh.
Unfortunate birdie there. We are going to go down by 4 points because there were some eagles. Actually, a number of eagles, so we're down to 3 people now. We've got 3 holes left to make up a 4-point deficit, and we're going to be starting the comeback on hole 7. Now, we do have 15 mile an hour wind, but I'm still going to club down to a 3 iron. We get a pretty nice lie. This is where I like to be for stroke number 2. Now we do have a bit of the headwind. That's why I'm going to go a little bit more power than usual.
Nice shot.
Ends up being just enough power. Barely clear the water there, but we are on the green nonetheless. And it does look relatively flat, to be honest. Which it is. Barely get enough power, but we do get birdie for this hole, which has led me to come within 1 point of first place. However, there's a 3-way tie for first, so I have to outplay at least one of them here on hole 8 if I want to advance to the finals. Now with 26 mile an hour tailwind, probably just going to full send the 7 iron. Going to add some backspin, hopefully to slow down my roll on the green.
Nice shot.
We get a pretty favorable backspin there,
Nice on.
which does bring us within 16 feet of the hole. Although, looking at this topography, not the easiest putt to make. But I do sink that nicely, and I do believe that's going to be enough to make it to the final. So 40 points after 4 holes, playing very consistently here. That's gotten me back into second place. I'm now only trailing one person by 1 point. Chance for a win here is still possible. Just have to outplay the panda on this last hole. Although this is a par 3, so we could just see a pair of birdies here. But tricky wind here, so anything could happen. Max headwind. Definitely going to use the 5-iron. Probably going to go slightly under full power with backspin.
Nice shot.
Ends up being a pretty decent approach, all things considered. And if you saw that miss, Panda in first place is going to be settling for a par. So if I sink this putt, that will be a win. And we do sink that putt for the 50-point win. Consistency is key, ladies and gentlemen. That does lead me to a win with a nice birdie on every hole. A fairly close match, only a 2-point margin separating me from the rest of the game. But that's a good win, that's going to be some decent rank, and let's jump into another match here. Second game here, we find another S4 player. The rest A players and B players. So starting off in hole number 1 here, I'm expecting this to be a pretty good match. I think it'll be competitive.
Nice shot.
We'll keep an eye out for Enrique, the other S4 player. But regardless of the ranks, just gotta focus on playing good golf, scoring more points than everyone else in the lobby.
Nice shot.
Pretty close to a chip and eagle there.
Nice
I did adjust very slightly to the left, and I missed just to the left. I was thinking when I landed I would bounce a little bit to the right. Wasn't the case, so I am going to be settling for birdie here.
Nice birdie.
Pretty much all birdies though, as you'd expect. So no one really has the advantage here going into the next hole, which is hole number 3 with minimal wind.
Nice shot.
So definitely a chance for a chip and eagle here with minimal wind. It is difficult though on this hole, you have to be pretty precise when reading the green.
Nice shot.
But I clubbed down to a spoon there just to make sure I land on the fairway. If I use the driver, I'd be on the rough or in the bunker, making the chip just a little bit harder. It's definitely not the end of the world if you land on the rough, but if you can be on the fairway only a few yards away, why not? So chip here, probably going to go somewhere a little bit under 3.5 power. And very close. I did read the green right, which I said earlier was the tough part, but just didn't quite get the power right. However, birdie for hole 2. We are on 20 points after 2. So only 2 eliminations there. We have a 6-way tie for first place, all on 20 points. Going into the semifinals with 0 advantage, back to square one. We are back on hole 11, which was the final hole of last game. Looks like no win this time. So I do think I'm going to bounce to the right a little bit when I land on the green, which is why I'm moving my stick to the left a little bit. And then going to try to get just under full power.
Nice shot.
Did not get the bounce I was looking for, but 4 feet away, it's a good enough approach to get the birdie.
Nice birdie.
So I've had some pretty close chips this game. In fact, I think all of the holes I've had pretty close chips. Ooh, it looks like there was a hole in one. Well done to Jeremy. I didn't even notice that while I was playing through the hole. So it looks like I'm down 4 points now with 2 holes left. Playing just as consistent as last game. Let's see if we can get the same result as last game. And with max wind, there's no way we're going to make that shortcut. So going to have to adjust here, hoping I can land on the fairway.
Nice shot.
Although not easy wind to read. And I don't make it on the fairway, but at least I have a clear stroke too. There's no trees blocking my way. I should be able to land at the end of the fairway for this shot, which is what I do. But stroke 3, not any easier than the first 2. And this wind, it's a bit of a headwind and it's pretty directional. We're not too far away from the hole, so maybe something like this. I'm really not sure, to be honest, but gonna have to go with something here. Ooh, I accidentally undershoot that. I meant to go like somewhere over 3 dots. That was a mistake on my end. Bad execution. I don't think there's any chance that I read this wind right if I want to wedge. So even though I'm like well into the fairway, I'm gonna putt. Ooh, ends up being a very good decision. I sink the really unique birdie there. So another 10 points added to my score. That's going to be 40 after 4. And look at that. Jeremy bogeyed that hole. So yet again, consistency keeping me in first place here. Tied with Enrique, the other S4 player. We got hole 7 for the last hole of this game. And 0 wind. So no excuses here. Should be securing the birdie. So I'm just adjusting a little bit for the topography of the green. And we need 3 iron. I want to try to get like 3 1/3 dot in terms of power with backspin, because that should slow down my roll. Ooh, not quite enough power there. 22 feet away, but on a pretty crazy green. Going to need a clutch putt here if I want to keep myself in the game. I saw Enrique get the birdie. So a birdie is a must here if I want to go to a closest to the pin. And a very clutch putt that was. So once again, 50 points to finish the match, similarly to the first game. However, this game, it is going to go to a closest to the pin to determine the winner. We actually had some pretty clutch putts this game. Hole 12, I had that putt from the fairway, and then hole 7, I had that putt with a tough topography. So to be honest, I had really good putting this game. But now I'm moving on to a chip here, which looks pretty crazy. I'm thinking 2 dots with backspin. Did not get the backspin there, so I might have rolled a little bit too far away. I did halt my Joy-Con there, but maybe you just can't get backspin when you're in the bunker. and that is going to leave me second place. So a little bit of a poor execution there on my end, but those were pretty consistent games leading me to first and tied for first. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the online content, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.